Hello friends and fellow VEDSies, and welcome back to VEDS. Today I am going to be making up for that Museum Monday video that I missed at the beginning of the week, but today's video is going to be a little bit different than the Tennessee State Museum video, because when I went into this museum, I wanted to very much prioritize my own first impressions and experience instead of prioritizing getting a lot of footage. So while there will occasionally be video or photos, mostly this is going to be me talking you through this. So a little bit ago, me and Destiny went to the National Museum of African American Music. It's a new museum right in downtown Nashville, right across from the Ryman Auditorium, with another entry onto Broadway that is actually named after the Fisk Jubilee Singers, who I talked about in one of my videos. It was built as part of a project called Fifth and Broad, which is basically half high-end residential condos and half tourist trap type stores and restaurants. I say that derisively. It's not a bad place to go eat or anything, but it's very much a place designed for tourists. So the museum actually kind of stands as the most Nashville thing in Fifth and Broad, which is pretty cool. So you enter into this very big, lovely atrium kind of waiting area. It's of course got a gift shop. It also has a little courtyard off to the side, a couple small exhibits, and that's where you get your tickets and wait for the time slot that you're given. It's still doing time tours to manage the amount of people who go in there. So you sit in there and you wait, and they have music playing, and it's definitely built to also serve as a venue. I'm not sure if they do that, but I can easily see them setting up a PA system and having an open mic or concerts for smaller artists in that Nashville area. If they don't do that, then they definitely should. And if anyone from the museum sees this, feel free to steal my idea. I think that'd be really cool. And when you begin your tour, you are let into this theater, which shows you a short documentary that kind of helps contextualize and introduce you to the things that you're going to be seeing within the museum. Then let's step into this area, which is kind of the hall that connects all the different rooms. Me and Destiny didn't spend any time in this area. We automatically went to the individual rooms, and by the time we had gotten done with the last one, the museum was closing. However, you can see that a lot of this area is taken up by these touchscreen tables, and that's because this is such an interactive museum. We'll go more into that when I talk about the individual rooms, but there is such a focus on getting the guests involved with the music that this museum is about. So the rooms are separated by genre and ordered somewhat chronologically. It goes through the entire history of the genre from its formation to its current form, but the different rooms are staggered by which genre came first. So you start with spiritual and gospel, you go to blues, jazz, and then eventually you end up with hip hop and rap. And these rooms very naturally lead into each other, and you get kind of teases for the ones that are coming up and callbacks to the ones you've already gotten through, because it will mention something like X jazz musician was influenced by this blues person, or this R&B singer was influenced by this gospel singer. Mostly these rooms are made up of displays that show a lot of pictures from the time, sometimes artifacts and stuff, a lot of really cool instruments. This is a bunch of post-slavery folk instruments that are really cool to see how these eventually formed into instruments that we would recognize today. But then they of course have instruments from famous musicians, like this trumpet that belonged to Louis Armstrong, and Lucille that belonged to B.B. King. And the amount of information in these rooms is honestly very overwhelming. When I walked into there, there's no way I can read and comprehend all of this stuff. What you kind of have to do is you just kind of have to go through and take in as much as you can. But that's kind of the point, because it wants to get you familiar enough with the context in which this music was created, and then have you focus on the music. And that's where the interactivity comes from. Now, each room has one or two specialized interactive places. In the blues room, you could do kind of a choose your own adventure story type thing that would then build a blues song off of that to kind of get you to understand the narrative and the lyrical structure of blues songs. But by far the best was in the hip hop section. They had a whole recording booth set up where you could do a rap battle, You could just karaoke along to some famous rap songs, or you could try to freestyle rap. This is the room where me and Destiny embarrassed ourselves the most, but it's also probably the room we had the most fun. And then in each room, there are these tables, much like the ones in the hallway. These show all the different artists that were talked about in the room. And when you click on them, you can read a little bit about them, see their peers, their influences, and their followers, and play a little bit of their music. This is such a simple part of the museum, but is so cool because you go around, you learn about all these people, some of which you know, probably several of which you know, but you're gonna come across some names that you don't recognize. So you can go around, kind of collect names in your head, and then go over to the table, search them, and listen to their music. Now, this museum costs $25 to get into, which is kind of pricey, but honestly I think is worth it. But if you pay an extra $1, you get this bracelet, which comes with an RFD chip. On this RFD chip, you can save all the footage of you in interactive spaces, all the music that you create while you're in there in some of the interactive spaces. But I think the key feature of this is that when you hold this up to a table on an artist, it will save a playlist of that artist's music so that you can then go back and listen to it after you've left the museum. Now, you could just pull out your phone and save some of the songs to Spotify playlists. However, for just $1 more, this is a very convenient way of being able to compile all of that music and continue your experience after you've left the museum. And that's about it, because this museum is not actually that big. However, they use their space very effectively, and by the time you get through it all, you feel like you have gone through a space that's twice the size, because it packs in so much interactivity, so much knowledge, and it's just such a cool experience. Nashville is known as the music city. However, the focus can oftentimes be very myopic. It's going to focus on country, and when it focuses outside of country, it's going to focus on white musicians. That's not totally true within the city. There are a lot of great local artists who do not fit into either of those camps, but it is mainly the perception of Nashville. So it's really cool to have this space in the heart of downtown Nashville, right across from our most historic and famous music venue that celebrates Black musicians, because most popular music in America came from Black musicians. So thank y'all for watching this video. I will be back at you next Monday with another video about museums, and I'll be back at you tomorrow with just another video. See you tomorrow, friends and fellow VEDSies.